Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and furthermore, welcome back to yet another spooky Halloween review. Tonight we're taking a look at the GameStop exclusive Halloween Catwoman Funko Pop. This was actually a figure that released last year in the Halloween season, but we're taking a look at it now because, well, I didn't really get a whole lot of videos out last year, so we're taking a look at it a whole year later in the Halloween season of 2025. You can see the figure there in the window looking really cool. You can see a render of the figure. You can see its name. You can see the Batman insignia. You can see its number 507 in the line. You can see Pop Heroes. You can see Pop Heroes again with an awesome render of Catwoman and this huge jack-o'-lantern. You can see the city skyrise silhouette, I guess is what you would call that. And I assume the city in question is Gotham City. You can see Catwoman 507 DC. Back of the box, you can see Pop Heroes. Nice render of Catwoman there. DC Superheroes, number 507. Her name, Catwoman. And then the Batman insignia again, and you can see right there. It's even trademarked.
Better be a licensed toy or I will freak out.
Side of the box, her name. And then number 505, character is peeking there. And then you can see Pop Heroes in DC. And top of the box, you literally have the exact same thing. So, with all that being said, that pretty much wraps up our look at the packaging. So, I'm going to take a few minutes to get this bad kitty unboxed. Don't go away, there's more frightful fun to be had. Alright, here is Catwoman out of the box. And I really, really like this one. I think it's a really cool Funko Pop simply because of the dynamicity of it. It is very much like a diorama. And Funko has released a few diorama Funko Pops. I think they literally have a line of strictly diorama Funko Pops called Funko Pop Moments, where it's literally just like a display with different characters in a scene from a movie. But this is literally being sold as a regular Funko Pop with no Funko Pop moment branding attached to it, no deluxe Funko Pop attached to it to give it that extra bell and whistle. They literally just released a GameStop as it's now called, exclusive figure that is a diorama, a small diorama. And I really like Funko for doing that. Like, you can see she's leaning up against this jack-o'-lantern. The jack-o'-lantern is sitting in these leaves, very fall-colored, with, like, the browns and oranges. Really cool stuff. There's some calendar pages for January 1st, October 31st, and December 25th. And I love that the eyes of the pumpkin are carved and the mouth is carved. But when you look at the actual mouth, it is deliberately carved to look like the Batman signal, which is really cool because it works like the Batman signal, but it also works as the mouth for this jack-o'-lantern. And you can definitely see with her pose as she's leaning up against the jack-o'-lantern with her hand on her hips, looking pretty suggestive there, probably trying to seduce Bruce to let her get away after some petty crime. Maybe she stole some jewelry like she often does and was like, "Hey Bruce, check out my jack-o'-lantern. I carved it special for you. Notice anything familiar, baby?" Something like that, right? You can definitely imagine her doing something like that with, like, the seducing nature of Catwoman as a character. But really cool. I like how they gave her, like, these eyelashes here. That's really cool. Her latex hood or cowl, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it a hood because it literally just looks like a hood with, like, you know, the whole head being covered minus the eyes and the mouth. And then you got, like, this gray catsuit with some thigh-high boots and some gloves. Really cool. Catwoman's design here actually reminds me of the, like, classic design, the very classic, iconic look for Catwoman. It even looks like the Batman animated series look for the character. Turning the figure around here. There's nothing really going on. You can see some more leaves in the back of the pumpkin. But her ass, though, that's like really tight and firm for a Funko Pop. Like, oh, Funko, you're putting in the stops, giving Selena Kyle, Catwoman, some cake. But yeah, that is Catwoman. I guess we'll move into some comparisons here before things get too long. First up for comparison, here is the GameStop exclusive Halloween Catwoman next to the Batman 85-year anniversary Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman from Batman Returns. And here she is next to the Christmas Catwoman. I have nothing negative to say about this Catwoman figure. This is probably one of my favorite Funko Pops, next to the Monster Hunter World Zinogre, which will always be my favorite Funko Pop figure. And that is because of how dynamic this figure is. It literally feels like a small Funko Pop diorama, having Catwoman stand in these fall leaves with the pages of the calendars, having her lean up against the pumpkin and strike a seductive pose, literally plays so much into the seductive nature of Catwoman Selena Kyle as a character.
I don't know whether to open fire or fall in love.
You poor guys. Always confusing your pistols with your privates. I suppose it wouldn't do any harm if we... Oh, sorry, Katie.
And I love this figure for that. Not to mention, Halloween and Catwoman, they strike a sentimental chord with me. Growing up and going into high school, I always noticed that around the Halloween season, a lot of the younger women and teenagers would dress up as Catwoman. Now, whether this was to pick up guys or that Catwoman at that particular time was just a popular costume for girls to wear, doesn't matter. Because ever since that day, Catwoman and Halloween have always been synonymous for me. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think about the EB Games exclusive Catwoman Halloween Funko Pop figure. And with that, hope you guys enjoyed. Happy haunts, and I'll see you in the next fretfully fun Halloween video.